Hi again, Marcy Davis here with Quick Start Piano, where adults learn by playing the music they love most. And today we're going to look at Let It Be by the Beatles. This is a popular request in my studio. And we're going to be using this book here, Best Songs Ever, Super Easy Songbook. So you'll want to be using that for your reference. And this, if you've taken my beginner course and graduated from the first 6 weeks, this piece here is going to be quite a bit more difficult than what we've been working on before, which is okay. We just need to remember some principles with working with more difficult music. The more difficult it is, the smaller pieces and chunks you want to practice it in. And one of the rules to remember, no pain, no gain, you might have heard that before, it does not apply to piano. Especially if you're talking about physical pain in your hands or arms, you definitely want to address that. You don't want to be feeling pain. But we also want to be thinking about the mental pain and how hard it feels to practice. If it is feeling that hard and uncomfortable, that is generally a sign that we're doing too much at once. And it's actually less efficient to practice that way. It's more efficient to break things down into small pieces. It helps you build muscle memory and retain things a little better. So I will be showing you how to do that. Sometimes people will tell me, but that feels like cheating. And I say, it's not cheating. Being efficient is not cheating, it's smart. And that's what we want to do. Our goal is to practice in a smart way. Not only will it help you to learn your pieces more quickly, it also is much more enjoyable. And with any activity, of course, especially if it's an optional activity, we're much more likely to see it through if it's enjoyable than if it is tedious. So we aim to avoid the tedious. All right, so we're going to be learning this piece in 3 major steps. We're going to be learning the right hand melody, and we're going to be learning the left-hand chords, and then at the very end, the last step, the most difficult one, is putting them together with the right-hand melody and left-hand chords. So we're going to be spending most of our time on the first 2 steps. And while we're at it, the left-hand chords, we're going to go ahead and add right-hand chords as an option that you can do, and learn how to accompany yourself while you sing with those chords and make it sound a little bit more musical. You can choose whether to start with step 1 or step 2. It really doesn't matter which one you start with. You can also learn them both at the same time, the melody and the chords, as long as you're not combining them together, if you're practicing them as separate activities. All right, so let's take a look at the right-hand melody. All right, so before we get started on here, I want to talk a little bit about fingering principles. One of the biggest principles is we're going to try to stay in a 5-finger home bass position for as much of the piece as we can. And then the other principle is if it does stretch a little bit, we'll stretch and then we'll stay in a 5-finger position again as long as we can. And really the biggest overarching principle that we're going to use is we want to set what our fingering is going to be, write it in the book, and then play it that way every single time because we're trying to build muscle memory. And if you play it differently every time, your brain and your neurology and your muscles don't know what it is that you're trying to memorize, the motion you're trying to memorize, because you keep mixing it up and having a different one every time. So we want to set our fingering and make it exactly the way we would like it to be. Okay, so let's start off. The first note of this piece is the G above middle C. We're going to put our 3rd finger on the G, and then we're going to stay there for a little bit. And then we're going to switch to a 1 right there. And the reason is I can see the melodies going way up in the air, and I want to get ready for that. And switching on the same note is really an easy way to do it. Most people don't have trouble with that. You don't have to jump and find your spot. Okay, so let's try that again. And then after this, we're going to stretch up 3rd finger to C, and because we needed to go all the way up to the E, and then we'll be set for a little bit. Okay, I'm going to try that. 1, 2, 3, 4, the first 4 measures and the pickup note. And then we're going to move. We're going to put our 4th finger on E. And the reason I chose that is because I could see, as looking ahead, that F is going to be the highest note. So it makes sense to put 4 on the note right below that. And then the melody goes back down to a G. We're going to put our thumb on G. stretch just like we did before. And then go up to 4 just like we did before, 4 on E. And then the next part of the piece, we're going to put our third finger on E. Let it be. And then we're going to stretch because I'm seeing that we have to go all the way up to A. So you're going to do 2, and now you're in a 5-finger position here. You can stay for a minute. That's what makes this piece more challenging. So let's go back to the Let It Be, starting on E, third finger, stretch, and then we're going to hop to our 5th finger on the G, so we'll be ready for the next part. And now we're out of fingers, so we're going to cross over, and then we have to go back up to the E. Lots of moving around. Okay, I'm going to go all the way back to Let It Be. 3, 2, 1, stretch, 2, 4, 5, 4, switch to 5, 3, 2, 1, cross, 2, 1, stretch up to 5. Whew, that might have been the hardest part. Okay, now this should be more familiar. 4 on E. And then if you're doing the repeat, it's easier to start with your thumb on G, and then you notice at the beginning of the song that we had our third finger on G, so you would switch 1, 3, and do it all over again. If we're not repeating, what we have to do is jump all the way up to this A, and then you notice that's just a line of notes going down. And what we're going to do is we're going to go all the way down to our thumb, and then I counted how many notes are left, and that tells me what finger to use. Well, there's 4 notes left. So I'm going to cross to my 4th finger. So. And there you have it. This will be easiest if you're looking at your page with the numbers already written on it. And if you're my student, you have access to that. Otherwise, just play through the video and stop and pause it when you need to take a few notes. Have fun with it. I'll see you in your next video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you'll never miss another tutorial or a piano book tour showing you what's inside. So have fun making music, and I will see you in the next video.